Phoebe here from In the Great Wide. As many of you know, we are going on a cruise in the Caribbean next week, so we are super excited about it. But since it is the first cruise that either of us are taking, I wanted to share with you some first impressions that I have gotten from Royal Caribbean just through the booking process over the last 10 months. Because I've been planning this for quite a while now. So I've been planning it for a group of 12 people. So it has been quite the experience. So the first thing that I tried to do when I decided I was going to book this cruise was I tried to get in touch with a group planner with Royal Caribbean, associated with Royal Caribbean. They didn't really have great information on how to go about that on their website. So I sent a couple of messages, a couple of emails, and didn't hear back from the first one, so I tried again. And then I got 2 phone calls in one day from 2 different group planners. And I didn't get back to them that day. The next day, one of them called me again, so I decided to go with that person. So I called him back, but then after we got booked for our cruise, everything kind of started going downhill with him from there. He got pretty snippy with me via email, and I want to be understanding of the fact that it was through email, so maybe I was reading the tone wrong. That's totally possible. But he also did not answer my questions directly, and then after a while he just stopped replying entirely. So when I called, I didn't have any other contact at Royal Caribbean to be like, hey, this guy's not doing his job. So I just called the main phone number for Royal Caribbean and told them the situation. I got transferred around, I think, twice, and then eventually got put in touch with another group planner, but they had no interest in hearing my feedback about what the problem was with the original group planner that I was paired with. And even once I got in touch with another person, that person didn't really care about my feedback about the other person and just wanted to know what they could do for me, which I can appreciate to a certain extent, but also the fact that I specifically told them I was happy to give feedback, and then they didn't want it, was a little bothersome to me. But I decided, okay, let's move forward with a new group planner. However, then that person, after I got off the phone call, that initial phone call with her, she didn't respond to any of my emails and didn't respond to any phone calls from me or the other people in my group. So that was really, really disappointing. So after that, I just decided that I didn't want to deal with the group planners anymore, because when you are dealing with a group planner, you have to go by their schedule, which I understand they have a work schedule, of course, but it's a lot easier, it's a lot more convenient when you can just call and get your questions answered by somebody whenever suits you, whenever suits your schedule. So I just decided, you know what, I'm not even going to deal with the group planners anymore. I'm just going to call Royal Caribbean and through the main line whenever I have questions that I need answers to. But the conclusion that I've come to is that Royal Caribbean as a company is just not communicative. They're not communicative within their own company. They're not communicative with the governments of the islands that we are going to be visiting that aren't part of the United States. And they're not communicative with the guests that are actually booked on a cruise. And I assumed for a long time, because we booked our cruise back in February, and it's not happening until now in December. So I assumed that for a good while I wasn't receiving communications from them because our cruise was simply too far away. And especially during the pandemic, with everything changing so rapidly, I assumed, they will start communicating more with us in the last month leading up to our cruise. However, that ended up not really being the case. So I was annoyed that they didn't notify us when check-in was available for our cruise. I just had been checking the website every day, so I caught it right off the bat on the first day when it was available, but that was because I made an effort to go and check every single day, and not everybody, most people are not going to have time to do that. So just be aware that that is a thing. They don't tell you when check-in is available for your cruise. And it's vital to, especially now, to check in as soon as possible for your cruise, because then you get first pick of what time you get on the cruise ship on embarkation day, which really matters now because of the COVID protocols. And then Royal Caribbean has not been communicative in also responding to emails about the shore excursion policies right now. So I was reading through some of the fine print in the Royal Caribbean app, and found verbiage that said we may not be allowed to go to shore on some of the islands we are going to be visiting on the cruise without booking an excursion through Royal Caribbean. We wouldn't be allowed off the ship otherwise to go explore. So I called them immediately, and this was just, I think, 3 weeks ago. I called them immediately and said, what is this? Because I haven't received any information about this. And they said, oh, it hasn't been decided yet. That's why you haven't received information about it. And, but that was extremely upsetting to me because I spent hours and hours researching these islands, and 3 out of the 6 that they're taking us to, we're not going to be able to explore freely. So that was a lot of time that I won't say is wasted, but time that I did not need to spend when I spent it on researching these islands. So that was really disappointing. And then, it was also really disappointing that from other conversations that I had had with Royal Caribbean representatives just a few days earlier, that I was told something different. So I have been really frustrated with that from Royal Caribbean. And then, the COVID protocols have continuously been changing, which I understand. The pandemic is entirely out of their control, but they have not been handling it well. And they have not been communicating, the issues or their policies with their guests. And then when I ask specific questions, they don't always have the answer. All of the employees that I have spoken with, the representatives that I speak with when I call the main line, the main phone number for Royal Caribbean, they're always friendly. They want to help, but they very, very rarely actually have the answers to my questions, which is extremely frustrating. And as somebody who has a background in corporate training, I understand that these people being friendly and wanting to help, but not having the answers it's a direct indication that the higher ups in this company do not care about training their employees properly. It tells me that the higher ups either don't know what they're doing, or they are purposefully withholding information because they don't want to lose bookings. So right now, my feeling is that Royal Caribbean is exploiting this situation in order to essentially force people to book excursions through them instead of being able to go and explore on their own or book a third-party excursion. So Royal Caribbean is exploiting the situation so that they'll make more money off of it. Not to mention the fact that if you are only allowed off the ship to do a Royal Caribbean excursion, then that means that you're going to be on the ship a lot more, which means that you're going to be spending more money while you're on the ship. More people are buying drink packages, or you'll be spending even more money by buying more drinks a la carte. You'll have more time to go and do activities on board, some of which cost extra. So Royal Caribbean is really exploiting this situation to make more money. I understand that they're a business, but they're being really unfair to their guests, and they're not communicating what their policies are, and they're not responding directly or in a timely manner to specific questions that are being asked. I'm really hoping that the onboard experience is going to be much better than the experience that I have had planning this cruise vacation for myself, for my 30th birthday, no less, and for my group of friends that are joining me, that I'm really excited to have these experiences with. I expect that the onboard experience is going to be far superior because, Royal Caribbean has some impressive awards, saying from Travel Weekly's Reader Choice Awards. They are 18 years running the best cruise line in the Caribbean and the best cruise line overall, which is really impressive. But honestly, I'm not seeing it so far. So they're going to have to really pull something off to turn my opinion of them around, because at this point, before we even go on the cruise, I'm already saying that I don't want to use Royal Caribbean again. So we'll see how the cruise actually goes itself, and I'll do another update after we get back from the cruise to let you guys know how it goes. Thanks for joining me today.